Hey boys, I'm going to introduce you to a guy named Tommy Mello. Tommy's the CEO and founder of a company named A1 Garages, which he started from scratch and scaled it to over $200 million a year. Needless to say, he's super successful, but there's more to him than that, and I wanted to start this video off with a story that he told about him and his dad when he was young.
When I'm 5 years old, I remember this day vividly. I was in Royal Oak, Michigan, and this is the longest driveway I've ever seen in my life. And there was a yard sale or a garage sale. My dad always stopped at those. And I found this CB radio, and I'm picking it up, and I'm playing with the antenna, and I got the little, I'm like, 5050, and I'm like just talking into it, and I put it back, and we walked back to the car, and my dad looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, Tommy, you really wanted that, didn't you?" I looked at him, I go, "Yeah, Dad." He goes, "Here's $5, go get it." I go, "Dad, there's a Scotch tape on it that says $20. He goes, "I know, go get it for 5." And it didn't make sense to me. He goes, "Just go up to her. I want you to smile. I want you to point at me and say, 'My dad and I were wondering if you'd take $5 for this radio.'" And I'm talking, this was like, I was worried. I'm looking back at my dad, and he's like, "Keep going." And he's waving, and he's like, "Keep going." And I look back at him every 5 steps. And I walk up, and I mean, man, it was like I was anxious as hell. And I go, "Ma'am, I was just curious. Would you take $5 for this radio?" And I go, "That's my dad over there." And he's waving and smiling. And she gets down on one knee. She pulls out the Scotch tape. She takes the 5 and presents it to me. And I'm telling you guys, the radio was awesome, but I walked back and I learned a lesson that you'll never lose in life. Like, don't be afraid of rejection. You go up there, you ask, you just go for no. And I think that he taught me at a young age. I watched him negotiate things I never thought possible. And just, he used to say, "I wish I knew then what I know now." And what he told me is, like, don't be afraid to ask the girl out. Worst case scenario, her loss. Don't be afraid of what people think about you. You're living in your own world. He goes, a lot of people are going to have contempt. They're not going to like you. You're going to be more successful. But don't worry. This is the world we live in. Continue to run. Like, look, hang out with people you got a common future instead of a common past. Figure out how to get in the right circles. And my mom, I would say my mom gave me more love. She said, "You could do anything. I'm going to get behind you." Like, if I went to prison, she moved next to the prison to see me every day. Like, my mom loves me. If I said, "Mom, I got in a really bad wreck, the person's not okay," she'd grab a shovel. Be like, "How do we get rid of this mess?" My dad just was like, "I'm going to teach you sales. I'm going to teach you persuasion." And so the combination is just, I think it turned me into like the belief system that I have somebody no matter what. And then my dad was just like, "You're going to have the skills because you're going to be around me." And he was good at it.
These are things that Mama and I are trying to provide for you guys.
I feel like for me, the next journey is like, listen, I want to be a great dad. I want to be a great husband. We're getting married next January 1st. And I want to live. I want to be where my feet are. I want to go all in. I want people to know how much I care about them. I want to communicate better. I want to make sure that it's not always about money and finance. It's not just working out. It's just becoming better every day. Better your best. I always say I'm the best I've ever been, but the worst I'll ever be, because tomorrow I need to be a little bit better.
When people talk about successful people, they usually equate that to money, but it's really not all that. It's just part of the equation.
Most billionaires, and I meet a lot of them, they're not happy. Some of them are suicidal, alcoholics, drug addicts. They got everybody chasing them because of their money. They're not really good people. So they begin to look at themselves and say, the only reason people like me is because I work my ass off and I've got money. And that's not going to be me. I want to continue to be humble, stay the blue collar guy I've always been. Remember that I started washing dishes and mowing lawns. And just creating the best. I don't want a million friends. I want 20 friends that I want to be lifelong soulmates with. And guys, it sounds really good, and I do got a lot of great things going, and I thank God and Jesus Christ every day. But I've got a lot of work on. All the listeners just know that you might think being rich, famous, Instagram famous, and influencer is going to solve your problems, but that's not the answer. It's looking inside and becoming your best self. On my casket, you know what I want? I don't want the best entrepreneur wealthy. I want number one, the best dad ever. And I don't have any kids yet.
I'd take that tombstone too.